What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Totally Inspired. Thank you to those of you that have subscribed and those that have shared these videos that I've been sharing in the past few weeks. Please continue to like, subscribe, and share. Above all, also remember the notification bell because that is what tells you that I've posted a new video. Thank you so much for your support and the feedback that I continue to get, which is very positive and really encouraging. Well, today we are going to be talking about something that is really important to a lot of people, something that a lot of us struggle with, and that is the imposter syndrome. But before we go on to the video, let's take a listen to our jingle. Hello, queens. Hello, phenomenal women. Hello, inspirational women. This is your girl, Sibo Dube. Welcome to Totally Inspired, a channel where we talk all things leadership and all things lifestyle. Before we get started, please hit the notification bell and the subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on this content which has been created with you in mind so you can enjoy a full life because girl, you deserve it. So today I wanted to look at a subject that a lot of us struggle with, and that is the imposter syndrome. And some of you may be hearing this term for the very first time, so I think it's important that I also take you through what the imposter syndrome is. So the imposter syndrome is when somebody feels like they are a fraud, that you feel like you are not living up to what people really expect of you, as if you're going to be found out soon that you're not as good or as professional, or that you don't know what people think you know. So a lot of times when you struggle with that, it's because you lack self-confidence and you really doubt yourself in so many different ways. And people that suffer from the imposter syndrome is mainly because they're a perfectionist. They want to make sure that everything that they do is perfect, and sometimes it's actually more than is humanly possible or more than one is able to deliver on. Also, if you're somebody that wants to be an expert and want to know it all and really specialize in something and know it in depth, you actually may find yourself doing it to levels that can become a bit unhealthy, to a point that you suffer from the imposter syndrome, giving yourself a superhero status and therefore putting yourself under immense pressure. I'd like us to break down the characteristics of a person that's suffering from an imposter syndrome. Firstly, you suffer from self-doubt. And when you suffer from self-doubt, you realize that you lack confidence in the things that you do on a daily basis. You think that you're not the right person. You don't have the right qualities to be able to deliver on whatever the task at hand is. So when you lack self-confidence, you start to develop characteristics of suffering from the imposter syndrome. Secondly, another characteristic of someone suffering from an imposter syndrome is the fact that you keep thinking that you have been able to occupy the position that you occupy due to external factors. So what do I mean by that? It's things like thinking that you've been done a favor to be actually hired in a role, or it's due to just mere luck. You actually didn't deserve that role, and so you attribute that position or that duty or task that you've been given, or that leadership role for that matter, to the fact that somebody did you a favor, or they just felt, you know what, let's put you in there because it will look good on the external world. And here, as I'm speaking, I'm thinking of women that actually get hired into positions because they think that they're being hired to fill in certain criteria, like meeting things like quotas, for example, that we should have so many women in a certain department or so many women in an organization. That's when one starts to feel they were hired because maybe of the color of their skin or their gender. That's when you start to develop an imposter syndrome. Thirdly, you develop an imposter syndrome when you start to sabotage yourself. What do I mean by that? When you start to actively or passively take steps to prevent yourself from reaching your goals. That is when you are self-sabotaging. For example, if there is an opportunity for you to develop a skill, an opportunity that is presented you to develop a skill, and you don't put your name in the hat for it, or you step back from it, or you don't take it up, or you don't apply for something, those are tactics of somebody that is actually self-sabotaging. or the negative self-talk that you often give to yourself, that is self-sabotage. And that will lead to you developing an imposter syndrome. Another factor is when you are deeply self-critical. So you criticize your performance so harshly to a point that it reaches unhealthy levels. When you do that, you actually are developing an imposter syndrome. And a lot of people suffer from that. They critique themselves harshly. They criticize the work that they do, even if it's their best ability under the circumstances that are presented to them. Sometimes why your work is not at its best could be because of various reasons. Maybe you didn't have the right tools to do your job, or you don't have the right skills and you're yet to develop. You need to take these things into account and be kinder to yourself and be kinder to your output and look for help. So a lot of times we are very critical of ourselves and our final product because we have developed that imposter syndrome where we're feeling like we're fake or we are a fraud and our work is shoddy. Finally, someone with an imposter syndrome is that kind of person that's always sitting at the table and thinking, oh, soon enough they're gonna find out that I don't have what it takes. I don't have the qualities that they think I have. I don't have the skill that they think that I have. So a lot of times when you have that feeling, when you constantly think of the fact that you are going to be passed very soon, those are signs of having an imposter syndrome. And it's not a good feeling to be sitting in any professional setting and thinking that you don't have what it takes. They are going to find out soon. And each time, even when you are even called to meetings or you see in meeting invitations where, for example, the human resources department is included there, you just start to think, oh no, I've been found out. That is not a good place to be in. You need to build your confidence to a level that you are not thinking that you are going to be found out. So those are some of the points that I could think of at the top of my head for this video. And of course, you want to ask yourself, how then do I get out of this situation where I feel like an imposter? Well, I'm glad that there are some points that I can share with you, and hopefully for you watching this video, this will make you feel better, this will calm you down, and this will be helpful. Here are the points that I thought I should share with you. Number one, talk about it. Don't let it be that elephant in the room that you're sitting with on your own. Believe me, you'll find that there are people that are suffering from the same problem. And when you speak about it and open up to a person that, of course, you trust, they too can share ways with you in which you can cope. And it's even more helpful when you've got somebody that you can walk the journey with, somebody that is suffering from the same issue and wants to probably share it with somebody. You might discover that it helps when you journey with somebody on something like that. And if you can find somebody that you really trust in, somebody that you believe is not going to look at you or judge you in another way, look for that person that you feel maybe they can help you walk this journey, somebody that you feel probably has more confidence. If you're not feeling comfortable to share that with someone in your close circle, you can even look for that type of help from an external person, somebody that is not within your team or not within your organization. The other thing that you need to apply that can help you get out of the situation is to be aware of the situations that trigger that feeling. What are the times or the situation that actually make you feel like an imposter? Once you realize those situations or those feelings and you have that awareness, you are able to then deal with them and give yourself some positive self-talk. So could it be you start feeling that way when you are in a meeting where probably you're the only woman, or probably you're the only person of a certain race, and that's when you still feel, that's when that starts to develop. Or maybe you're the most junior person around that table. Maybe you're the only millennial, for example, and you think you're surrounded by people that know it all. Guess what? Use that as an opportunity for you to learn. Use that as an opportunity to draw out some experience and knowledge from those people, for example. So once you identify those times when you start to feel like an imposter, be aware of those situations and deal with them in a more positive way. Thirdly, what you can do is to look at situations where you have not performed to your best in a kinder way. In other words, develop healthier self-competition, where you're competing with yourself and you're thinking, I want to be a better version of what I did before, or I want to keep moving in a self-improvement journey. Identify ways in which you can actually be kinder to yourself when you feel you have totally failed or haven't come to the party, or maybe let's say haven't performed to the way that you know you can actually perform to up your game. So have a kinder method of responding to situations where you have not performed to your best. Another thing that you need to apply is to develop more positive self-talk. The things that you keep repeating to yourself, the things that you keep imagining in your head, the conversations that you have in your mind, let them be more positive. Because the negative self-talk is the one that really rubber stamps and actually makes you internalize the whole imposter syndrome. So watch what you're thinking about yourself. Listen to what you're saying to yourself on a daily basis about the type of person that you feel you are. If you speak negatively to yourself, that imposter syndrome mentality will continue to grow. So seek ways in which you have more positive self-talk. Finally, and I think this is more exciting, is when you visualize success. If it means you waking up in the morning before that big presentation and imagining yourself putting it out there and everyone sitting around the table thinking, wow, this person has truly prepared and this person knows what they're talking about. Start living the reality of a successfully delivered presentation or whatever task it is that has been put to you to deliver on. When you visualize it, it starts becoming more and more of a reality. Living in the moment of success. By the time you get to that table in the meeting, or by the time you make that presentation, you've already walked in a situation where you have successfully delivered on your task. Start walking and living and visualizing the successful delivery of your task. I hope these points have really helped you at home or whoever you are that's watching this video. And do tell me, give me feedback. For example, if you've had situations where you have felt, you know what, I'm a fraud, I don't have what it takes, and tell us how you dealt about it. Maybe, you never know, you could also help somebody else that is going through the same challenge, someone that is suffering from the imposter syndrome. I hope you found this video helpful, and please do not forget to subscribe, because on this platform we are sharing things that are going to sharpen us and make us better people, people that are doing more and being more in our different areas of life. Until next time, keep inspiring and do take care.
So there you have it, queens. Hope you had been inspired by today's video and that you'll go out and be more and do more, because you deserve a full life. Before you go, remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of this inspiring content, and do share my link with your circle of queens. Until next time, keep inspiring.